What's that you say? You're a new mom in Boulder? Oh my gosh, welcome. Well, I'm a native Boulderite and I know a thing or two about what it means to be a badass Boulder mom. So sit back, allow me to enlighten you. To begin, let's start where all motherhood stories start in Boulder, the birth plan. If you want to be the baddest mom in Boulder, you need to have an extensive birth plan from the get-go. Your plan should include things like, we'd like to play the same flute music that was playing when our blessed baby was conceived in the Andes Mountains, when her crown crests my beautiful earthly vagina. Make sure you say the part about Peru because the hospital staff needs to know about your extensive travel history. Also, I'll bring my own organic cotton gown and sheets to use during my experience. Please have your staff prepare the bed with this instruction. Because we all know organic cotton will more effectively absorb the blood, shit, and fluid that seeps out of our lady beds during birth. As for physical preparation, please no drugs, no enema, and absolutely no shaving of pubic hair. You can, however, have an IV ready for my husband. Regarding the afterbirth, please spoon feed me my placenta within 2 hours of the birth. I'm a raw foodist and unwilling to compromise my views on processed foods. At this point, I'm unaware of the shelf life of an average placenta. Of course, what matters even more than the contents of your birth plan is that you share it over and over again. At parties, each time you attend prenatal yoga, and with every nurse or midwife that says hello during your euphoric birth experience. Now let's talk about the actual birth. If you're going to be the baddest mom in Boulder, you must have a natural birth. At least try for one. If you don't envision yourself trying to birth free of infant-compromising chemicals, the epidural, then perhaps you should start looking at real estate in like Longmont or Superior. Or some other ghetto outside of Boulder. Consider giving birth in your own bed. Never mind what your husband says. You know how to get stains out of everything. This way, you'll save the planet's water by not having to wash another set of sheets to bring to the hospital. Equally important, should you befriend an unfortunate woman who lacks the mental strength to have had a natural birth herself, then frequently remind her of your own mental strength and your willingness to help her get to that level. Perhaps it was her bad karma that led her there. As far as vaccinations go, be an outlier. Stand firm and be vocal on your belief. Make sure that all of your children's friends are up to date on their vaccinations, because if they get them done, then your kid doesn't have to. When choosing your child's middle name, if you're really going to call yourself a badass Boulder mom, consider using one of the names of the many 14ers you've climbed. There are a large selection of suitable names: Elbert, Gray, Torrey, Stanford. If you ask me, being from Boulder with our public schools of excellence, as well as our many parents of excellence, I'd choose Yale. Your infant is clearly Ivy-bound, like the majority of other Boulder kids with a homogeneous family just like yours. On the topic of food, there's only one way to be the baddest mom in Boulder: free range, organic, and homemade always. Never ever be one of those moms who buys cupcakes with blue frosting at King Soopers for a child's school birthday party. Gross. If you can't find the time to make your own treats, at least go to Whole Foods, where every single product on the shelf is safe, natural, and infinitely more expensive. When feeding your children and their friends after-school snacks, make sure to avoid processed foods and foods with a high sugar content. If you do happen to find yourself shoving fistfuls of milk chocolate and Cool Ranch-flavored chips down your gullet, at least do it behind the cupboard doors when the kids aren't looking. Badass Boulder moms know that family and extreme exercise go together like Stitch and Lilo. Not that I would know what that means. Boulder moms don't do Disney. Ensure that your 4-year-old knows how to rock climb, ice climb, river raft, ski veils, back bowls, lead spelunking expeditions, and is a yogini. Feel free to consider team sports so long as they are in conjunction with the prior mentioned activities that will set your child apart. Team sports were more relevant in the 1980s and are likely on their way out in towns like Boulder. To be clear, Boulder is not a suburb. Besides, how is your kid going to be the superstar if he's playing on a team? Exactly. As far as your exercise regimen, while having six-pack abs is nice and also likely, 2 out of 3 badass Boulder moms report having a six-pack, it is not essential. What is more important is creating the illusion of exercise. Thankfully, this may not be as difficult as you feared due to the large selection of activewear available on every other street corner. No one has to know that your latest Lululemon ensemble has not touched a bead of sweat yet. And you've already owned this one for 3 months. As far as anyone at after-school pickup knows, you just finished with your late afternoon yoga sesh or soul cycle. And on the topic of television, the baddest Boulder mom would not allow her kids to watch such mind-numbing clutter, ever. Do you know what this does to the brain of a child? And even if she did so behind closed doors, it would be important that others believed television was not allowed in her house. Elsa and Anna, who are they? New neighbors you should bring a gluten-free casserole to? And should you fall victim to the pleasures of Homeland, Biggest Loser, Breaking Bad, The Bachelor, Survivor, Orange is the New Black, what have you, at least make sure you do it at night when the kids can't hear you. May they dream sweetly with visions of the morally uncompromising you in their heads. If you find yourself needing more guidance after my inspiring tutorial on how to be a badass Boulder mom, I, like 90% of the rest of Boulder, am a therapist and life coach. Some might call me guru. I'm here to help guide and give you all kinds of advice you didn't ask for. I'll make sure to send you a follow-up email. Namaste.